Okay, first off, happy Halloween, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I really intended to get this video out sooner, but I finally got caught up to the point where I could make it. So, tomorrow on Saturday Shenanigans here on this channel, we will be doing the decorated sticks. Hi, Beth. And this is kind of like it's all of step one, part of step two. This one is finished. I, of course, like them way crooked, better than anybody. I mean, better than the straight ones, but the straight ones have their way too. Hi, Beth. Hi, dragons. So, we're going to go over a little bit of what you need today because none of it is hard to find except sticks, maybe. I have trouble finding sticks. The majority of my sticks came from my crepe myrtle tree and a rose bush when I trimmed it down. I did eventually find other sticks at my family's in Kansas. So here are some of my sticks. I suggest if you're just going to go out and gather sticks, please take time to bake them. I know that sounds crazy. I didn't. Oh, that's a cool idea. A cluster of feathers at the end, make a feather one. That's really cool. My first ones, when they get done, are going to go in a vase. It's going on a shelf in my bathroom to go with the rest of my funky wild stuff in there. So I didn't bake my first ones. I haven't had a problem yet. But this bundle came from Kansas. We gathered them and wrapped up like a Walmart bag around it and tied it so that it could be in the car and not go all over the place. When we got home and unpacked the car, I noticed these little piles of yellow grainy stuff on the thing. And I thought, oh, well, we broke some. It's just what fell off. Then I put them on this thing after I took the bags off. I put them in the top of the closet in here. Well, I happened to pull them down one time and there was little piles of yellow stuff there. And I thought, okay, there's something. And so I did bake these and now they just have dirt. There's no little yellow stuff. There's no dead bugs. It's just dirt. So evidently there was something that I killed when I baked them. So I did it this amount in the oven for an hour at 350. I've heard you can do the microwave. I didn't try because most of my sticks are bigger than my microwave. So I just wanted to kind of touch base again. Like I said, if you happen, believe it or not, this is off my crepe myrtle. I kind of like them skinny, but I was really worried about the strength. Granted, they're not going to be where they really should be handled. That doesn't mean they won't. I have grandchildren that are as tall or taller than me. And I could see one of them, well, there's two of them, that could take these out and think they're swords. So, if little skinnies are all you've got some a little bit heavier aluminum wire because, we don't want to, break our hands doing this. And the aluminum wire is so flexible. It could. I really don't know. I have never tried. But what I did is I took a piece of wire, and I could have just done a piece of wire. I know that. But there's something about using the stick. I can't explain it. I just thought it was pretty fun. But I just put a piece of wire, and if you don't have something this heavy, put a couple pieces of wire and just wrap it with that. That'll strengthen them. There is several of mine that I have done. I have a lot of them wrapped in just the fabric. So sticks is the number one thing you need. And you know what? If you don't have sticks, which I really had to hunt for mine, the one tree we have never seems to lose sticks. And then the crepe myrtle, I trimmed them to get the sticks. Um, use a dowel, even use a pencil. I mean, I'm not going to use my Prismacolor pencils, but hey, you can make short ones. That's cool. So I'm sure you can find other things, and I hope to tomorrow when we play. I have a few other things I've done this with, and I want to share that, and maybe we can come up with more ideas on what we can do with the materials we've got out already. So first, like I said, is sticks, and then you're going to need fabric bits, strips. I have, believe it or not, this was a skein of yarn I got a long, long time ago. And it's all fabric strips in these fun, funky colors, which of course matches my shower. So just fabric strips. And I have some sari silk strips. So all of that, any kind of strips of fabric, and they don't have to be very long. The little pieces just are great for like this stick that's got the little fork in the road here. Little pieces will help you work into that too. So anyway, so we've got the sticks and we got the first layer. And then comes the fun part. I use anything to wrap around it. This is a thread. It's on a spool. It's probably a crochet cotton. This is a little bit of a blue yarn, and then I have I must have put it up already. I have a spool of, well, like this, metallic threads. I have several spools, and I thought they were great. I thought I was going to do all kinds of things free motion embroidery. This machine does not like this thread. And these weren't cheap, so I'm using them. Sometimes just, double up or triple up so you don't have to keep wrapping and wrapping. So we got that. I love anything variegated. I love the difference it makes. I love, how it is. And everything you're doing is in bits. So this doesn't need to be yards and yards of anything. And then I've used pearl cotton. I do prefer a heavier weight because, again, I don't have to wrap so long and I can see it better. Embroidery flosses, um, yarn. I have ribbon. I haven't used it, so we'll see. Maybe that'll show up. But I have a lot of different yarns in here, and sometimes when they become short, I take them like this and make them into a bigger ball. And this is sari silk scraps where they have twisted and spun it into a yarn. This funky curly stuff in here, and this is all wool yarn that I have spun myself and dyed or not dyed. Once I use it up, it's done. I did get rid of my spinning wheel because I don't know, it just wasn't me. So any kind of cording, floss, yarn, sewing thread, embroidery floss, all that stuff. You're going to need some wire. I have in here a little bag of colored wires. Yes, I've worked with wire for years, and I have a friend that's no longer with me, and she sent all of her stuff over here a couple of years ago. So I have a lot of her jewelry supplies. And I have a lot of aluminum wire. I don't really want to go this thick on there because I want it as a sparkle. I want it as a texture. I mean, you can see the wire kind of sparkle with the beads. You get anything big and it's going to start covering things up. But that doesn't mean you can't use it, because maybe you want to just take a little piece and do it like a ring, 3 or 4 wraps, because I don't know, I don't know. The more color, the better. That's kind of my thought, I suppose. I do suggest in the information below that you use anything smaller than a 22 gauge. If you don't know how wire works, a 20 would be bigger, so that number goes up. So 22 is decent size, 24 is smaller, 28 two is 22, 24. Okay, then you can go to 26, 28, 30. I wouldn't get too much. Hi, Arlene. I wouldn't get too much smaller than that for mostly. Um, if you're going to do any tugging and pulling, it could break. I mean, it's going to work. Just be, a little more cautious about it. You're going to need cutters to cut your wire, but if you're using really thin wire and you got old scissors, believe me, you just want to use old scissors, it'll work. And then, of course, I have several different pairs of scissors here. These are my big fabric shears, but you want scissors to cut your cords and your fabrics. And then you need glue. You might need some clamps. I didn't put this in there, but you might need clamps to hold it in place. What I have used for the most part is this quick dry fabric fusion for my leans. I'm going to guess it's really close to that other smelly one. I can't think of what it's called. This doesn't smell that bad, but it's close. Fabri-Tac, that's what I'm thinking. So this one is a little faster than, say, using white glue or a glue stick you still got to hold. Of course, a glue stick's not going to hold forever on the fabric, but we're going to wrap enough other things around it that's not a really big deal. Tomorrow, I'm going to be using a hot glue gun, mostly because I'm hoping I don't have to sit and hold everything and wait for it to dry or set up before I can go on to the next step. And then you need an assortment of beads. It can be seed beads. It can be crystals. Personally, I stay 6mm and under, unless it's a real special bead. You might want to put a big chunky something up here, It's all good. There's nothing saying you can't do what you want to do. I'm just showing you what I've done and how I've done it, and I'm always open to input, and I'm willing to try new things myself. So anyway, this is tomorrow's project. And again, I put my email down below too. If you have any ideas on things you want to see, do, try, any of that, just send me an email, message below here, whatever. I'll tell you what, coming back on here and doing these things has really got my mind going again. I'm actually on the tail end of my de-stash. I have more pictures to post, but I am ready to make some kits, and I am ready to just get some stuff done. I really want to make things. I chose these to be my second project since I started the shenanigans because I need to finish my bathroom. It's been undone for too long now. So, I'm able to get some things done. I've actually been finishing projects and a little bit more new projects going on in my mind. So, if you have any suggestions, please let me know, because I'm probably not going to run out of ideas, but I want to make sure that I hit things that other people like too. So I guess that's about it for today. Like I said, I just wanted to pop on and show you what we needed, give you an idea. I'm sorry it wasn't sooner. Life just happens, and I don't know. It's been happening a lot lately. So thank you for showing up, and I hope to see you tomorrow during Saturday Shenanigans. Have a great Halloween, and I hope that if you are having your trick-or-treaters come by, that you have lots, and if not, you're taking people trick-or-treating, enjoy that too. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.